The book of Second Esdras, the 16th chapter, and the 72nd verse. For they shall waste and take away their goods, and cast them out of their houses. Barakatha Yahawah, Barakatha Yahawashai, Barakatha Yahawah, Barakatha Yahawashai, Barakatha Yahawah, Barakatha Yahawashai, BAHASHAM, Rakach Radash, Call Halayim La, Alahayanawa, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashai, BAHASHAM, Rakach Radash. Also want to give double honors to all the elders and all the Akim that's out there preaching and teaching this word in truth and in sincerity, doing everything to make your calling and election sure. Shalom to y'all and y'all families. Also want to say shalom to all the Akim and the Akwatham out there that's out there receiving, learning, believing, and keeping the faith. You true, sincere, dedicated believers out there. Shalom to y'all and y'all families as well. It's the brother malakahmawan back in the spirit once again, here to feed the lambs and the sheep of Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashai. And Lord, word is lesson is edifying for the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel and the nation of Israel only. So it looks like in recent news that Esau Edom is starting to say that they're about to start going door to door with the jab, which they've been doing that, but it hasn't been as pronounced. I remember when this first started to come out, when the jab first started to be promoted, they were going door to door with the jab, and in various parts of the world and in the United States as well. It just wasn't as pronounced, and it was never a declaration made by the president of the country, who is just the face of the country, which goes to show that behind the scenes, they pretty much got all their ducks in a row to go ahead and start mandating this thing, because the face of the country has came out and said, for certain reasons, which we're going to explore in these articles, but for certain reasons, they feel the need to get the jab mandated because of certain variants and things like that. I mean, we'll go door to door with the jab, basically mandating it and things of that nature. Like I said, this goes to show they pretty much got all their ducks in a row and they're ready to start coming down with this wrath. The president is just the face of the country. They're just the spokesperson. They don't really run anything behind the scenes. So when they get the president to come out and make declarations like this and to say things like this on a widespread scale, that's going to show you that they're pretty much ready to get this thing going and get this thing rolling. And it's just a matter of time before this thing becomes fully mandated and you are ostracized from society for not having it, and things of that nature. So let's go into the in the article, get some precepts, tie this into prophecy, and just show how this is all biblical prophecy, and you need to stay away from the snares of the wicked, snares of the devil, and put your trust in Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, because this is all said. This is all told that this will happen in these latter days. Going to the article, it says Biden federal jabbing effort will go door to door to get people C19 shots. It says, meanwhile, the CDC reports that 55% of the U.S. population is at least partially jabbed. President Joe Biden on Tuesday said that the federal government's jabbing efforts will shift from mass jabbing sites to literally knocking on doors in some instances to get people inoculated against the C. So that's the thing right here, man. Because of these new variants that they are saying that are coming up, this has given them probable cause. This is giving them plausible, reasoning in the eyes of the masses, and in the eyes that they can convince the masses to go door to door with the jab. You see what I'm saying? It's always a cause and effect with Esau Edom and gradualism, and how he can manipulate you into praying for your own downfall, like I frequently say. That's the thing with Esau Edom. They want you to beg for your own demise. And how do they do that? They do that by manipulating the news, manipulating the media, and putting you under spells of mind control, thinking that you're at risk or you're at danger for things that they're bringing to the world, things that they're formulating within the world. It's the whole what's the word I'm looking for? Order ad chaos. Cause, reaction, solution. You formulate the cause, which means that you formulate the reaction, and you also have the solution for that reaction that you formulated via the cause that you brought into the world. So that's how Esau Edom works, and that's what they're trying to do within the people. But continuing on, we are continuing to wind down the mass jab sites that did so much in the spring to rapidly jab those eager to get their first jab and their second jab, for that matter, if they need a second, Biden said in the South Court Auditorium at the Eisenhower Executive Office building near the White House. Now we need to go to the community by community, neighborhood by neighborhood, and oft times door to door, literally knocking on doors to help to get help to the remaining people protected from the V. And that's the thing right here. They're basically blaming the rapid spread, or quote unquote spread, of this new Delta variant of the V on the unjabbed population of the people, which we're going to get another article about that to prove that. But that's what they're doing right now. And that's because of that right there, that's accomplishing a few things. That's accomplishing in the minds of the people, in the minds of your fellow citizen, that if you don't have the jab, you're the reason for why the country's in the way it is, why we quote unquote can't get past the pandemic and things of that nature. And it's also putting an amount of fear in the people that you have to go get jabbed in order to protect yourself from this new rapid spreading V that's catching America and the world by storm. Basically, just bringing up again what we went through and what we where everything we went through in 2020, but doing it in a more rapid scale and in a more enforced scale, in terms of now they got the solution as well, right, like they have the cause and they have the solution right here and there. That's the thing. They've gradually shifted the minds of the masses into thinking that the jab is the solution. So now when they bring up a new cause that they are claiming that is more deadly, they have the solution right then and there, but they've already conditioned your mind to view this as a solution. You see what I'm saying? So that's how Esau Edom works, and that's why, you got to be on your toes, man. That's why you can't, the scriptures say, that the devil is coming down with that great wrath, seeking who he may devour in these last days. The scriptures say, when you go to the book of Job, when the Most High was asking, Satan what he was doing, he was roaming the earth. And that's what the devil, in the physical manifestation of the devil, does right now. He roams the earth seeking whom he may devour, pursuing the 1 Peter, the 5th chapter as well. So that's what he's doing within the world right now, seeking whom he can devour, seeking who he can get inoculated with his serum, and ultimately that serum is a manifestation of getting inoculated with his ideals, his philosophies, and his forms of spirituality, which is going to come in the form of the divine T. As we, if any brothers who follow, like I said in one of my previous videos as well, go subscribe to the channel Young High Flyers. We're on that channel 3 to 4 days a week, breaking down that. We did a live stream on his channel about last week or 2 weeks ago, breaking down the divine T. That's the spiritual side. That's the spiritual manifestation of the physical, inoculation that he's trying to put inside you. It's all connected together. Basically, you take his physical mark, you take his physical quote unquote solutions. You're basically investing more and more into this society, which means you're going to invest more and more into what he says goes and his form of thinking, because when you have that get down to lay down mentality, all it takes is certain provisions being removed from you in order for you to lay down the things he sets before you. So when he starts setting the divine T before you, when he starts setting the Baphomet image as the holy spiritual entity that you should worship, you're going to eventually go down that path and bow the knee to it, because you over time have conditioned your mind into thinking that he has solutions for your life. And you've marked yourself with that jab to confirm that within you and in the minds of everybody else. That's kind of how he's working, how he's trying to shape and scope this thing. But enough of me rambling. Let's go to some scriptures just to prove that, and to prove some of these points. Then we'll go back into the article. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter and the 70th verse. For there shall in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So like I was saying in my earlier statements with regards to this article, what they're trying to do is they're trying to shape the world in the jab being the holy grail solution. And ultimately it's going to manifest itself and form you, and ultimately they're going to one up the jab and it's going to be the mark, which they've already done some programming with that, but that's going to eventually come. And it's only a matter of time before that comes. So what they're doing is they're shaping the minds of the people to view the jab as the holy grail solution. And those who don't take the jab are going to be ones that are causing the problems for society, because In your mind, oh, they've provided a solution. Why don't you have it? You must be a rebel. You must be a terrorist. You must want to see America fall. And don't get it twisted. We are we do want to see America fall. You know, we are those quote unquote things that they say that we are. You know what I'm saying? By the definition standard, we are quote unquote terrorists. You know what I'm saying? We do want to see, this place get destroyed. You know what I'm saying? By the quote unquote real standards of it. You know what I'm saying? Not in the way that they shape it, but in just the definition of the term. Yeah, we want to see this thing destroyed from the inside out, and we will do everything we can according to our template set before us via the Spirit and the Scriptures, and trusting in our power, and not reverting to the whims of the devil in these last days in order to get that ultimate goal accomplished of this place being destroyed. So so with that goal being in mind, that's how they're going to shape us, the ones who fear the Lord, the ones who are not going to take the jab, the hopeful elect, as the ones who are causing the issue in society. That's going to be that great insurrection. Was that word insurrection just goes into an uprising? That's going to be that great uprising upon those that fear the Lord. And it's not just going to be the uprising is not just going to be from the government, but it's also going to be from the people who have the mindset of the government, because they have the same goal in mind of seeing this place prosper and quote unquote return back to normal, which of course the elites, that's the New World Order. The masses just don't understand that in fullness yet. But continuing on, that's going to be that great insurrection right there, which we are heading to those days. And a symbol of that is them going door to door with the jab. Verse 71, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. How can they cast you out of your house? They go on the door to door with the jab, man. Don't get it twisted. This is starting to ramp up, man. It's just a matter of time before they go on door to door with the jab, and if you refuse it, they're gonna snatch you out your house, take you into a car, and take you out to a FEMA camp. That time is coming, like the scriptures say. The devil shall cast some of you into prison. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get that. Revelation 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So that the devil casting us into prison, that's going to be those FEMA camps, man. You know what I'm saying? So when that great insurrection comes, and then when they're spoiling people out of their houses and taking people from their families and things like that for refusing to inoculate yourself with their serum, and like I said, ultimately and see, that's the thing right there. You refusing to do that is basically you refusing their totalitarian rulership and the overt rulership and dictatorship over your life, and basically you refusing the concept of what they say goes. That's why they're gonna be destroying and spoiling those that fear the Lord, because you trust in something that's not them. Esau wants to be your everything. He wants to be your mind, body, and soul. When you have a head, being the Heavenly Father and the Son YAHAWASHI, and you value that over them, they take offense to that, and they want you killed because that they don't want that mindset pervading the rest of the nation of Israel. That's all who I'm focused on. They don't want that mindset going on with the rest of Jake. They want Jake to worship them. You see what I'm saying? So that's why they're going to take people out of their houses and take them into FEMA camps. Well, that's one of the reasons, and things like that. But this is just showing how this is all biblical prophecy, and we just gotta we gotta let these things play out, man. It's just a matter of time before these start playing out, in real time. But continuing on, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried like gold in the fire. We're gonna be tried in those FEMA camps in that wilderness and things like that. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide, and the God of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord Yahweh. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. So that's the thing right there. The Most High's got us through it all anyway, though. That time is going to come. They are going to be spoiling, destroying those that fear the Lord. They are going to be taking people out of their houses, people putting niggas in guillotines, putting brothers in harsh conditions. We are going to have to go through that fire. But that's us being chosen by the Heavenly Father and being tried by the Heavenly Father. But ultimately, the Most High's got us through it all anyway if we trust and we rely on Him. basically just going into that. So let's go back into the article. It says we are continuing to wind down the mass. I already read that. Biden's message came after he fell short of his July 4th jab goal to reach 70% of the U.S. adults with at least one C19 jab dose. The figure currently stands at just over 67%, and that's the thing right there. It was that all that shit is bullshit, man. They was always gonna come and be knocking on. Like I said, they was already knocking door to door previously, man. They were doing this last year. There was earlier on this year they were going door to door. It's just becoming more pronounced now because this is the time they've always wanted to do this. You gotta remember, man. These dates and these numbers, all that shit is fake, man. It's all about the time that they feel that they're ready to start implementing these things on a mass scale. Like I said earlier, the fact that they got Biden out there talking about it on a mass scale and basically making a declaration before the nation that this is what they're about to do shows that behind the scenes they got all their ducks in a row and they already are planning 10 steps ahead for what they want to do next. So the goal all along was to quote unquote release a more harsher variant and already be planning to go door to door with the jab under the guise of we have to go door to door because the variant is getting a lot harsher and getting stronger, and the ones who are at the quote unquote most risk of it is the ones who are not jabbed up. You see what I'm saying? So they already had that solution for that for that chaos that they caused. Order out of chaos. So all that shit, the goals and the numbers, all that shit is bullshit. It's just about the time that they had set in stone in order to get this thing going. Let's go back into these precepts. It's a lot. Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And that's the thing right here. This whole summer, after which we're still in, but after after the first rounds of jabs started going out and people started to go get it, there was a sense of normalcy and complacency amongst the people. The elites of the society created that sense of complacency amongst the minds of the masses of society. A lot of people have, relaxed, gone back into the world, kind of just let their minds ease up. But they had no clue that this devil's about to come down with extreme wrath very, very soon. And they're not going to be prepared for it. So when that time comes, when the devil just says, okay, well, you got to do this because things are getting harsher and harsher and harsher. These variants are getting more deadly. Okay, we need more things to protect you against this. Next thing you know, it's more potent versions of the jab. And ultimately, it's going to be that chip. Ultimately, because they already started packaging and marketing the chip as something that can help protect you against C19. We did a live stream on that, and I did another live stream on that as well, which I'm going to probably post to my backup channel. Subscribe to my backup channel, 144 Malak. We did a live stream, and I did a live stream on it as well, breaking that down, but YouTube took that video down just as an aside. But anyway, back to what I was saying. It's going to come in the form of that chip, and they've already been marketing the chip as something that can protect a person against C19. So that's that at the end it shall speak. That vision at the very end, the vision of John the Revelator of people, not being able to buy or sell unless they have the MLB in their hands or their forehead. And they're already marketing, like I said, they're already marketing the MLB as something that's going to serve as a benefit to people against these deadly, so-called deadly, diseases and variants and things like that. That's the wickedness of Esau Edom, and that's how he's trying to play this whole jab and C19 thing. But I'm just going to show you right here that the vision is already set, and they already had a date and the time that they was going to do this. All those intricacies is bullshit. They already knew when they was going to do this, and they already had a plan for how they're going to orchestrate it and how they were going to execute it within, the world and the masses and the minds of the people. Continuing on. The Biden administration hopes to address concerns causing jab hesitancy with its more targeted approach to communities, but it's unclear how the door-to-door strategy will be received, especially among the 10% of unjabbed adults who cited conspiracy theories and misinformation about the jabs, skepticism of drug companies, and general anti-government or anti-jab sentiment in a Morning Consult poll that they asked why they won't get the shot. So the thing about it is that now this is going to that family of the word as well. See, they're it's all connected, man. They're gonna start because people are starting to wake up. Of course, majority of Americans and especially majority of Jake are still very much asleep. But people are starting to wake up and starting to, receive forms of alternative media, even if it's not the truth, but forms of alternative media and news, such as like an end time headlines or a RT or some of the podcasts and things like that they do, like some of the more independent podcasts that are not tied down to major corporations that give some understanding, some knowledge. Channels like Dabu7 and Zachary K. Hubbard and Richie from Boston and people like that who give truth based and who give your so-called truthers who give understanding of what's going on in the world without but they don't have the spiritual understanding of what's going on. A lot of that it's starting to ramp up in society. People are starting to wake up to the wickedness of this devil Esau Edom, and they're starting to pull back their belief in their confidence in Babylon the Great, America, and because of that, they're going to start coming more and more and more. It's going to become more and more and more pronounced what they're trying to do and what they're trying to execute, and the measures that they're willing to go to do so are going to become more and more harsh. It says, the article says, but it's unclear how the door-to-door strategy will be received. It's not going to matter how it's received. Eventually, they're just going to come to the place where they're doing kick doors, man. Eventually, it's going to come down where they're just going to be doing kick doors. They're going to be busting in your house with choppers, and they're going to be, like the scriptures say, spoiling, destroying houses in that great insurrection. Ultimately, that's going into martial law right there, And once that time comes, it ain't gonna matter, how it was received. They just gonna do it, man. And we approaching those days. So be wise and be circumspect. This is Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. Salat, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So this devil knows that his time is up, man. So he's coming down with that great wrath. So like it says, we don't know how this is going to be received. It ain't going to matter how it's going to be received, man, because he's coming down with great wrath. He's eventually just going to start, forcing himself and, on the people, man, in a variety of different ways. And one of those ways is going to be when they're doing those door-to-doors, they're just going to be knocking windows out. They're going to be knocking doors down, and they're just going to be coming in, you ain't getting the jab. You coming with us in the car. We taking you out to, like I said, taking you out to a FEMA camp and a military tank truck. That's how it's gonna be. Eventually, now it probably won't start out that way, but eventually, very soon, it's gonna get to that point. This is another point right here. According to data from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, 55% of the entire U.S. population is at least partially jabbed against the C. But Biden urged more people to get the jab as the highly transmissible the Delta variant spreads. The variant makes up about 25% of the new C cases in the U.S. and expect to become the dominant strain in the coming weeks. And this is what it's all about, man. Filtering the news with misinformation, about the Delta variant, really just lies and snares about the Delta variant to get people to willingly submit their bodies to this experiment that this jab is, man, to this science experiment, and ultimately this killing of your soul, man, and killing of your mind, body, and soul, because it's gonna come a point in time where the people who got these jabs, man, their body gonna start mutating, man. Think I'm crazy? It's coming. Their body's gonna start mutating. Their body's gonna turn against them. Their DNA is gonna fight against them, and they're gonna be marked for those 5G towers, man. When those 5G towers start, really when they start really activating that radiation within, you already got the jab within your body. All kinds of things can happen within you, man. You could just fall out and die. You could get crazy headaches. You could get all kinds of illnesses and things like that. And they're gonna blame that on C-19. And when that happens, they're gonna tell you, oh, get this chip so that you can notify your body. You can know when you're about to experience some pain or some sickness or things like that. And this acts as more protection for you. See how it's all about, just it's all gradualism and just wanting you to, and just trying to get you to, beg for your own demise, like I said, and try to trap you and deceive you into destruction. That's how Esau Edom's wickedness works. So that time is coming, as well. So it's all deception. It's all wickedness, man. It says right now, as I speak to you, millions of Americans are still unjabbed and unprotected. Like I said, they're framing the jab as the holy grail solution to what's going on. They're framing the jab as the end all be all, for cures and for cures of disease, man. That's what they doing, man. And they're basically saying they're framing it as, if you don't have the jab, you are a big risk to yourself and others around you, which is, in the minds of you, that's gonna make, like I said earlier, it's accomplishing two things. They want you to think that you're at major risk for not getting the jab, and they want people to see you as a major risk to them and to America as a whole if you don't get the jab, which is gonna cause that great insurrection. And them coming in and them using that plausible, the deniability to come in and take people out their homes for not having the jab. Basically, just saying, and according to the Patriot Act, you will be categorized as a terrorist because you will be considered a health risk to society, man. So you already have that set in stone for this time period right here. Like I said, they operate years and years and centuries and decades in advance, man. Nothing just happens formulaically or automatically. I mean, nothing just happens automatically. It's all formulaic, man. It's all, conditioning and, getting you to believe something based off of what the things that they have set in place years and years in advance. You see what I'm saying? So I want to read the rest of this, then go to some scriptures, and then go to another article. And because of that, their communities are at risk, and their friends are at risk. The people they care about are at risk. This is an even bigger concern because of the Delta variant. Like I said, the Delta variant being this quote unquote harsher variant, being being a killer. Basically, they're marketing it as a killer variant. So with that precedence being there, if you don't get the jab based off of this, you must just hate America. You must just hate your fellow citizen and think that's how they're trying to market it. And because people are so base and people don't have a mind for their own, people are just willing pawns and sheep. They're gonna believe that they're gonna believe that too, and that's gonna cause, like I said, that great insurrection to come, not just from Esau's UN soldiers and military police force, but also your fellow citizen and the masses at large as well. He said the variant should cause everybody to think twice, but specifically the young people who may have thought that they didn't need to be jabbed up. The book of Ephesians, the 5th chapter, and the 6th verse. Let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of these things cometh the wrath of Yahawah upon the children of disobedience. Be not ye therefore partakers with them, for ye were sometimes darkness, but now are ye light in the Lord. Walk as children of the light. For the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving what is acceptable unto the Lord, and having no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. And that's what we're supposed to be doing right now. We're supposed to not take part in these deceiving and these vain words from Esau Edom, man. He's saying that, basically if you haven't got the jab, man, you are such a higher risk of getting sick, and you're such a risk to people around you and your family and yourself, and man, you could die within 24 hours. It's all that bullshit, man. All that vanity, all that fear and lack of faith. That's what he's trying to put on. He's trying to have you fear him more than the Most High. That's what he wants from you, man. Fear his words more than the words of Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI set before us. That's why it says you'll get the wrath of the Most High, because that ultimately shows that you view him as God over the God of the Bible. That's why it says to have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness. And this all this stuff that's going on in the world. This is unfruitful works of darkness, man. This is spiritual wickedness in high places. Continuing on. For it is ashamed even to speak of those things which are done in them in secret. But all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light, for whatsoever doth make manifest is light. Wherefore he said, Awake thou and that sleepest, arise from the dead, and Hamashiach shall give you life. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. And that's the thing. And, let me get 18 too. And be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit. And that's the thing right here. Just going to this, when we get this word, when we get this engrafted word, which this word is Yahawashi, like the scripture say, in the beginning was the word. That word is Yahawashi, man. When the Most High said, "Let there be light," that light was this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which ultimately is Yahawashi. So, like it said, arise from the dead, and Hamashiach, Yahawashi, shall give thee light. So, when we take on this word, we take on the spirit of Yahawashi, which means that we are wise. We don't go into the ways of these heathen. We're not fools. We value our power, and we fear our power, ultimately Yahweh, more than these devils, man. And we redeem the time and measure the time diligently, and that's what we have to be doing, because we got to constantly be doing that in order to withstand the wiles of the wicked, man, because they are coming down with deception right now. They are coming down. If you're weak minded, they can get into your mind and tap into your spirit and make you think that you finna die or some shit, man. That's why the scriptures say redeem the time, because the days are evil. These are evil days we're heading into, man. And if we're unwise and we don't know what the word of the Lord is, we're going to be drunk with that wine, which that wine goes into those philosophies, man. That's why you can't sit the philosophies of Esau, Edom. You got to bury yourself in the scriptures, man. These scriptures are our saving grace. These scriptures are our home, not America, not Esau, Edom, not his words. Yahweh BAHASHAM Yahweh's words are our light, man. That's why we got to be. That's what it means when we say be filled with the Spirit. Be constantly meditating the Word, studying to show ourselves approved. Reading so that we get the knowledge. Having that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to be stability. By setting our hearts and our affections on wisdom, ultimately being Yahawashi. That assists us in not being drunk with the philosophies of Esau, Edom, which ultimately will be the death of you. Going to this next article, it says Fauci says the disparity in willingness to be jabbed could lead to Delta variant spikes. It says Dr. Fauci said in Meet the Press interview that anti-jabbers might bring up Delta variant rates regionally. See how it is? They casting the anti-jabbers, the ones that actually kind of think, the ones that think with sense, the ones that are not just willing pawns to be experimented on. They're casting anti-jabbers as the problem in society. Once again, let's get a precept. Psalm 64 and 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. Salak, let's get this one. We'll go to that one too, but let's get this one. Psalm 58 and 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. And that's what so-called Dr. Fauci is doing. Speaking lies, man. Blaming the anti-jabbers for this fake variant that they're the ones that put into the earth, man. They're the ones that caused, they're the ones that were the bringers of this chaos, man. And now they're casting the blame on somebody else. They were the ones who formulated this. They were the ones who brought this into fruition. But they're blaming the anti-jabbers for why this is spreading and getting stronger and things like that. Like it says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they are born, speaking lies. And that's what he's doing. He's speaking lies because he's wicked, and he can't help but be wicked. He can't help but he was born wicked. He was born to do wickedness. They can't help it, man. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent, And that's the thing. The serpent in the garden was the one that poisoned Eve with those philosophies. With like it says, through envy the devil came death into the world. Let's get it. Let's get Wisdom of Solomon. Let's get Wisdom of Solomon, the 14th chapter, the 12th verse. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them the corruption of life. And who did that come from, man? Going back to Psalm 58. That came from the serpent, because it says the poison is like the poison of the serpent. So the serpent was the one that brought the was that idol, man. The serpent was the one that was the beginning of that, and the beginning of that spiritual fornication, the beginning of the devising of that wickedness, man. And the beginning of corruption of life, and really life being the children of God. That the serpent was the one who was the beginning of that, man. Like it says, they're estranged from the womb and they're poisonous, man. And the same thing with Esau, Edom, because Esau, Edom is just a modern day serpent and modern day Cain. It's the same person. You know what I'm saying? They're the same spirit. So you got to be careful, because the whole goal is to spread wickedness and lies so they can convince you that the New World Order is a good thing for you. And ultimately, even if you don't think it's a good thing for you, they're gonna do it anyway. Either way, it's still gonna come to fruition. Your only chance to make it up out of here is trusting in Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, and be raised in the chariots and that strangers of our salvation, as I went into earlier on in my channel. It says people who don't get jabbed against the CV are increasing the likelihood of Delta variant spikes across the country, Dr. Fauci said. In an interview with NBC Meet the Press that aired Sunday, Fauci, the nation's leading CV expert, said the Delta variants could spike in different regions, even as overall jabbing rates go up and new CV cases go down. There's a disparity in the willingness to be jabbed, Fauci said. So there are some states where the level of jabbing of individuals is 35% or less. Under those circumstances, you might expect to see spikes in certain regions, in certain states, cities, or countries. And in some places, some states, some cities, some areas where the level of jabbing is low, the level of dissemination is high. That's where you're going to see the spikes, he said. And that's the thing right here. The basically was once again going to, tying in the implementation of the jab and the rise of these Delta variant spikes. You know what I'm saying? Basically polluting the world with wickedness and lies to get people to submit to his will and submit to his plan and submit to his, forms of science and experimentation. Let's get Psalm 64 and 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Like I said earlier, it's the insurrection going into uprising, man. The uprising of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongues like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. And that bitter words are going to their philosophies, man. And this is a philosophy that they have successfully implemented on the people. That the jab is the foolproof solution, and the rise of the jab is correlated with the lowering of cases of C-19. So on the flip side, the less the jab is implemented, the higher the C-19 cases are going to be. Those are those bitter words, those false words, those words that sound sweet, but ultimately have a bitter end that Esau, Edom is plaguing on the people, man. So you got to be careful. You got to watch. You got to, like the scriptures say, you got to, not be drunk with the wine of the serpent, man. You got to be understanding and redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Because all this is evil and against the ways of Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI right here. Let's go to 1 Peter. since already the variant has been detected in 50 states, and health officials all over continue to urge Americans to get jabbed against the CV. And now it's just going into certain states and things like that. Just basically, once again, oh, let me get this. The Delta variant is more effective and efficient in its ability to transmit from person to person, Fauci said Sunday. It's clear that it appears to be more lethal in the sense of more serious, allowed you to get more serious disease leading to hospitalization, and in some cases leading to death. Just framing it as, harsher for you, framing it as more deadly, like I said earlier, giving them, probable cause to go in and up inside people's houses and force them to get jabbed or take them away into a FEMA camp. That day is coming. Don't just think it's gonna be some sweet walk in the park. Hey, do you want your C-19 jab? No, man, it's gonna be, they're gonna bang on them doors. They're gonna force the jab on you. If you refuse, hey, no problem. They're just gonna take you to a FEMA camp and swoop you off to somewhere in the middle of, some underground bunker in Colorado, some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you go off into the wilderness, man. Whatever the Most High has set for you as an individual man, whatever your lot may be. But ultimately that time is coming. Like I said, it's not gonna be no sweet just Jehovah Witness. Let me give you the word and let me evangelize to you. It ain't gonna be none of that. They gonna be coming there. They gonna be coming there with force. They're gonna be coming there with with wrath, man. Forcing you to get it. If you don't want to get it, they gonna take you with force. Swiftly take you away. Take you away from your families, your friends, your kids, your wife, your husband, whatever it may be. That time is coming. 1 Peter 3:12. For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against them that do evil. And who is he that will harm you, if he be followers of that which is good? If ye be followers of that which is good. Ultimately, just going in once again, the Most High God is if we just stay true to his word, his understanding, have the faith in him, and don't place faith in Esau, Edom over the Most High, he's gonna protect us and he's gonna make sure that you're good, man. He's gonna hear your prayers, hear your and things of that nature. And say and protect you during that time of Jacob's trouble. Verse 14. And if ye suffer for righteous sake, happy are ye, and be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled, but sanctify the Lord Yahawah in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of hope that is in you with meekness and fear. And that's the thing right here, man. That's what we got to do with others. And also when the people start coming in, banging on your door and shit, man. They ask you, why don't you want to get the jab? They tell them, hey, I got religious reasons. You know what I'm saying? I got religious reasons as to why I don't want to do it. So I can keep it at that and keep it moving. And if they want to take you because of that, that's fine. We all understand, part of that quote unquote religious, really spiritual, Israelite, reason for, culture, reason for not wanting to do that. Because, and not being afraid of that, because the prophecies, man. That this just has to happen according to prophecy in order for us to reign in our kingdom and this place to be trodden down, man. That time has to happen where, people are taking out their houses. So it's nothing to fear, even if they do take you. But always be ready to give that answer. They ask you, why are you doing this? Hey, I got spiritual reasons as to why why I'm not taking that jab. I trust in BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. When you're talking to your family members and friends and things like that, hey, man, you know where I stand. I'm an Israelite. I'm a biblical Israelite. I don't believe in following after the ways of the devil. I'm not going to be, swept in by his wickedness and his snaring words. And you never know, man. That could convince a family member not to take the jab. That could convince a friend not to take the jab or whatever it may be. But always be ready to give that answer, not to just to your loved ones, but when they coming in and they trying to, raise hell in your household, man, and trying to come kick down your door, and even when they start out at first just going door to door asking people to get the jab, be ready to give that answer, man. Tell them, no, I'm not doing this. Why don't you want to do it? Religious exemption, religious reasons, and just keep it at that. Keep it moving, man. Always be ready to give that answer for Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. And the Most High is going to protect you if you do so. But if you show your lack of faith by just submitting to them, that the Most High he left you, man. He ain't with you no more, man. You done. Like I said, ultimately, especially when you get when that mark comes on the scene and you get that. Ain't no coming back from that, man. But it's leading up to that. So you got to practice these things right now. Like it says, for those who keep the word of my patience, I will keep from the hour of temptation. You got to practice the word of the Most High's patience right now. You got to practice law, statutes, commandments. Rehearse the righteous acts. Don't take the jab. And then the Most High is going to protect you when that ultimate hour of temptation comes, that being the implementation of the chip, which is coming very soon. So with that, I think I'm going to end there. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kakwadash. Lord, will this lesson was edifying for the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. Abba, Kwam Yasharala, and Shalom, keep the faith.